Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. I mean, we might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she's never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at crossed in the last 3 years are CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing a significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute. Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty, because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Diablo asks, why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh! Oh, God. Damn it, AD. I think you just need to find a gentle limit.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day, when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and the scene walking calmly, is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have been required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive whether he can issue President's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
that
you
would
can't?
Be a gross abuse
Oh,
of the presidential
it's a
pardon authority.
gross abuse of presidential pardon authority. Well, there you go. You accepted a pardon, Adam Kinzinger. You think you may have committed a crime. Oh, here, Jamie Raskin. Dirty Q-tip. Dirty Q-tip, Jamie Raskin. What else? What did he have to say?
Well, the seeking of pardons is
Yes, it's only on
powerful
one side.
demonstration of the consciousness of guilt. Or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Jamie
And that's
Raskin.
what's so shocking
Did he
about
get a
this.
pardon also? Wasn't he on
Well,
that committee?
The seeking of pardons is...
He was on that committee. I'm curious if you're going to condemn that part. Are you going to condemn that pardon?
You know, Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
Lots of murderers, lots of drug dealers, lots of people who killed people, commuted the sentence of a couple murderers. One who, in fact, one drug dealer who people died from taking the drugs that they sold them.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
The Obama-Aniston rumors have gone wild. Rumors have emerged on social media that suggest Barack and Michelle Obama might be heading towards divorce, with speculators linking Barack Obama to actress Jennifer Aniston. Those rumors have gained traction following Michelle Obama's absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral and the inauguration, and are based on tabloid stories and social media speculation without solid confirmation from the individuals involved. So far, they're still rumors, and I don't know why people are perpetuating them, but it is kind of fun to perpetuate rumors like that. No one's come out to, out and out deny anything. That's the weird part.
We should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity.
The
of a
audacity!
president who's so clearly
The
concerned about his own
audacity!
criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Like the boy asked, are cats really soul suckers? Yes. Yes. That's why I'm not into cats. Dogs, man. I'm a dog guy. Avocado Diablo, is there an aisle in the grocery store that is less objectionable to have sex in? Where do you come up with this shit? Dude.
Has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen.
Yes.
Somebody who 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, a dead.
And I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding Donald Trump's demise that has failed. I wonder how many people at Davos, again, let me say it again. I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding what they had hoped would be Trump's demise. I bet you there's a few of them there. And it didn't work, did it now? Didn't work now, did it?
Politically known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
At the end of the show, every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Night.
Hello. Hello, hello, hello. 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 Is it me you're looking for? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel where, you know, we're in mourning. We're in mourning today. We are in mourning, and the salt flowing, the sea salt, Salt Bay, and seasoned salt, and Veruca Salt, and all the salt that you can have and muster is flowing because Joy Reid is no longer at MSNBC. Her show's canceled. She's not coming back. And I thought today, you know, we'll spend some time talking about Joy Reid because I didn't spend a lot of time on the show here about her, but you know, she just why is this all lighting up? That's weird. Hang on a second. Let me fix something. Poor Joy Reid. And there've been some accusations, not about Joy, but about her being, for lack of a better term, shit-canned at MSNBC, The Mess. Let's see, is this going to fix it? Let's see. No, there we go. That helps a little bit. I don't know what the hell happened there. I don't know what the heck's going on. Maybe it's the white balance. Let's try that. There we go. Get rid of that. There's just a weird glare on the screen there. Okay. She's gone. Oh, And the salt mining is plentiful and glorious. So we're gonna go through some of that, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff we're gonna talk about, just stuff that's happening. But first, of course, I gotta say hello to you because you guys make the show happen. If you weren't here, I wouldn't be doing this anymore. And as small as my audience is, y'all make me happy just that I have someone to talk to in the morning. So there you go. So first in chat today, of course, Mr. Avocados Diablo gets the bell. What the hell? Let's try that again. Mr. Avocados Diablo gets the bell. Hey, there we go. The honor spot to the first of the chat today. Also, good morning, Kara Soldier, Mike Savage, Blurg. Lord Stanhope's in the house. Tyre. Alexander. The Scourge. Good morning. Also, hello to, what did I miss? I skipped something. I said Lord Stanhope. Kara Soldier, yeah, got it. Aaron Meredith, good morning. JB. Anon 1, 2, 3 is here. Good morning also. Taka Paka. My favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony, is here. I said JB already. My other favorite Canadian, Unacceptable Views. Johnny Boomercheck, of course, running the whatever that is he does in there. Good morning, Robert Banks. What up, Banks? How you doing? Reaction Puerto Rico is here. Good morning. Also, now I saw, there it is, Hotep Dutch. What's up, Hotep Dutch? Welcome back. Nice to have you in the chat. So, look, if you haven't shared the stream, there's that little link at the top of the chat there. Up here, over there. Where is it? Over there? Is it over there? Is your chat over here, or is your chat down here? I guess it depends on whether you're on a phone or on your computer. Click that link. Give me a let's go and a meme or a GIF, or I always say that stupid peanut butter joke, but that's not even funny unless you're really paying attention to what the hell I'm saying. And nobody really pays attention anyway. Y'all are in the chat talking to each other, and I'm just here running my mouth, seeing what's up. So and Nomad's in the house. Yes. Hammer time. The formerly known as MC. Welcome. And today's coffee is in the Viva Las Vegas cup. Welcome to Las Vegas, the Las Vegas side, and got some of the different. There's that's a Bellagio, and there's New York, and there's a few other stuff on here. So anyway, and I'm drinking coffee again today. Sorry, who was giving me shit about drinking that tea juice? I don't know. So yeah, I'm back to coffee because someone mentioned that and I'm like, yeah, I kind of miss my coffee. I've been drinking tea for like 3 weeks straight, and coffee is just, just it is. GIF is a hard G. Well, I know because the G stands for graphics, but there's still people who call it a GIF. I know it's a GIF. I've always said GIF. Don't look a GIF horse in the mouth. Anyway, leaf juice is crap. That was you. Oh, that was you that was saying that, AD? I couldn't remember who was telling me about my leaf juice. My leaf juice was amazing. I don't like I'm not in a Lipton or whatever, but this was some like gourmet spiced tea that shit was good. So anyway, all right, let's get into the show because I'm late again. Today is what's the special day? Oh, the special day. Oh, by the way, thanks to the people who shared the show. So far, let's take a quick look. And I'm just gonna go from backwards today. There we go. Ty Alexander, throw a little Ric Flair up in there. Good, nice. And also people who retweeted. Ty Alexander, Reaction on Puerto Rico with a new. Oh, you got a new Avi. I was like, who is that? That's Reaction on Puerto Rico. Somnambule Nation, Swamp Fox Ghost, CG, and Banks, and Amazing Disgrace. Thank you for doing that. As we go down. Oh, yes. Let's go. Got the Joy Reid put on a happy face with her black woman with the good haired wig. Oh my God. And there we go. Thank you, Amazing Disgrace. A goat playing Uber to a cat. All right. And then we got, Alec Paul, you're just throwing out, y'all trying to trigger me with some of these people you're putting up here. Thank you, Somnambule Nation. Mike Savage with the Let Us Go. And then, Dave Chappelle's Prince with some pancakes. Love it. And then we got it. Let's go here. Thank you, CG. Everyone doing that. I appreciate it. It's fun. Good morning, Midnight in Exile. I see you. Green Badger Outdoors is here. People are rolling in slowly. That's a good thing. So, all right, let's get into the news. Now, just the special day today. Today is National Chocolate Covered Nut Day. Make a joke. Come and get some of these chocolate covered nuts. Oh, yeah. Stop it. It's National Chocolate Covered Nut Day, and people are celebrating by putting pictures of their chocolate covered nuts. I better not scroll too fast because I might get some chocolate covered nuts I don't want to see on this damn thing. Anyway, slowly. Okay, I'm scrolling slowly just to make sure I don't get any of the, the proper chocolate covered nuts on the screen. What is this? Oh, this just has all the different days. Anyway, happy Chocolate Covered Nuts Day. I don't even know who thought of that one, but, whatever. Good morning. On the honorable mention list of my favorite Canadians, Special Can Acids here, and also Midnight in Exile. What's up? All right, moving on. Also, it is, speaking of Ric Flair, today is Ric Flair's birthday. That's wrestling from the 80s and 90s. Someone says, happy birthday to arguably the greatest professional wrestler of all time. Of all time. Woo! Of all time. Mr. Nature Boy, Ric Flair, who is 76 years old today. He's only 16 years older than me. Really? Damn. Woo! So can I get a woo in the chat for Ric Flair? Let me get it. In fact, I'm going to put one in the chat myself. Watch this. Woo! There you go. All right, moving on. By the way, I don't know that I was ever really a huge fan of Ric Flair, but his face flop thing he used to do, that was like his signature move. And he was a hell of an interview. I got to tell you, especially in the 80s, when he was in his prime and he'd just come out with some crazy stuff. Anyway, so give me a woo for Ric Flair. All right, let's move on. Someone named Jose Gregorio Hernandez is trending. And it's not anything to do with the Catholic holiday, but this is a Catholic person. And apparently, now all these are written in Spanish. I don't see any written in English. But apparently, Jose Gregorio Hernandez has been designated a saint by the Pope. Here it is. I'm going to put a translate out here because whatever. The long-awaited day has arrived. Pope Francis has signed the decree of canonization of our blessed Jose Gregorio Hernandez. We can now call him Saint Jose Gregorio Hernandez. May the Lord and the Virgin bless us. Now, I'm not familiar with Jose Gregorio Hernandez, so I'm not really sure what I'm trying to figure out, what it is that he's done. I mean, let's see here. Let's see. Jose Gregorio Hernandez is not only a saint, he represents a type of Venezuelan human being that should be paradigmic and is disappearing. His way of speaking, his kind and respectful treatment, his selfless work for the country, his passion for science and philosophy, and his love for neighbors. So apparently he's I guess he's from Venezuela, maybe a cardinal from Venezuela. So anyway, I guess congratulations if you know what that means. Oh, this is him. This is a picture of him a long time ago when he was probably just a priest. What is this? I wish there was a little more information on him, though. Right now, I'm trying to read. I'm not going to read this in Spanish. I just can't. Here we go. Let's just do it in English. This is how the sanctuary of Isnotu woke up in the state of Trio, the birthplace of Jose Gregorio Hernandez, with the ringing of the bells announcing to everyone that the Holy Father has already given the order for the ordinary session leading up to his canonization. So, and I can't find anything to translate, but that's pretty cool. I mean, anyone being named a saint is pretty significant if you're Catholic. I'm not Catholic, but I find a lot of things in the Catholic Church fascinating. And my son-in-law and my daughter are both converted to Catholicism, so I try to keep up on some stuff. But anyway, congratulations, Jose Gregorio Hernandez. Also in the news, a judge has denied the Associated Press an emergency motion to restore White House access. I'm telling you what, they are so mad about this. They are so mad. A federal judge Monday denied an emergency motion from the Associated Press to restore access to White House press pool events. The AP made its motion in a suit filed in Washington against 3 White House officials, claiming the administration's move violates the First Amendment. Oh, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. There is nothing in the First Amendment that says you have to have access to whatever you want. Now, I understand, because look, here's a problem. For the Associated Press, they can cover White House, anything in the White House, because it's all live, whatever, streamed or whatever. The AP made its motion in a suit filed in Washington against 3. Oh, I said that already. U.S. District Judge Trevor McFadden, appointed by President Donald Trump during his first administration, denied the emergency motion from the AP, but ordered expedited consideration of the matter by the court. As we have said from the beginning, asking the President of the United States questions in the Oval Office and aboard Air Force One is a privilege granted to journalists, not a legal right. A statement from the White House read, "We stand by our decision to hold the fake news accountable for their lies." Oh, damn. And President Trump will continue to grant unprecedented level access to the press. This is the most transparent administration in history, because they do. I mean, literally, he's taken more questions in these first 30 days than Joe Biden took the entire 4 years of his presidency. I guarantee you that he has. And, the press gaggles every day. What's her name? Caroline Levitt. She's out there every day. And Trump takes questions wherever he goes. For far longer than he needs to. So Anyway, the White House began blocking the AP reporters from the Oval Office over a wire service decision to continue using Gulf of Mexico despite Trump's executive order renaming the body of water the Gulf of America, which spurred most of the news publications and map services to make the change. The Trump administration later extended the ban to the AP reporters to Air Force One, where the news agency has long had permanent seats. Oh well. But it's funny, and I don't think, I'm sure this is just some petty stuff because the AP is constantly writing, they've become a stenographer for the Democratic Party talking points, and it's fascinating how they write stories. So, whatever. Now, and I'm going to give you an example because also trending today is at the term nearly 40%. I'm like, well, why is nearly 40% trending? Why would nearly 40% be trending? And I was like, as I go into this thing on the trending topics on X, well, let's see. 60% of Democrats think there should be an agency focused on government efficiency. Nearly 40% of Democrats believe DOJ is making major cuts in government spending. Exposing government waste and fraud might be the single most popular platform there is. Now, that wasn't the one that has anything to do with the AP, but there's a whole bunch of different things on 40%. And I scroll down, I find an AP story. Oh, nearly 40% of contracts canceled by DOJ are expected to produce no savings. Now, why would they have a headline like that? So let's read the AP article on this. This is their headline. Nearly 40% of contracts canceled by DOJ are expected to produce no savings. Now, let's say that is true. Okay. Then why are there contracts? What do they do? Okay, that was my first question. But also, the other question I thought right away was, hey, well, that means 60% of the contracts canceled by Musk's DOJ, which is the U.S. Digital Services Agency, 60% are expected to produce savings. So that's great. And if the ones that are contracts that canceled that aren't going to produce savings, why do we have those contracts then? Well, the article does explain it. By the way, good morning, Renee Mayette. How you doing? Nearly 40% of the contracts that President Donald Trump's administration claims to have canceled as part of its signature cost-cutting program are not expected to save the government any money, the administration's own data shows. The Department of Government Efficiency, run by Trump advisor Elon Musk, published an updated list Monday of nearly 2,300 contracts and that agencies terminated in recent weeks across the federal government. Data published on DOJ's wall of receipts shows that more than 1/3 of the contract cancellations, 794 out of 2,300 in all, are expected to yield no savings. Now, why is that? Are these just worthless contracts? Well, no, there is a reason. I'm getting to it. That's usually because the total value of the contract has already been fully obligated, which means the government has a legal requirement to spend the funds for the goods or services it purchased, and in many cases has already done so. Okay, great. That's good to know. Okay. Now remember, they're saying only 40% of these things are 40% are not saving, which means 60% are saving money. But just because these have already been fully obligated, which means the government has a legal requirement to spend the funds for the goods and services already purchased, what it also tells me is that contract going to be renewed? And would the future of that contract, because you know what happens in government, with the way our government works, you get a contract for something in our government, and it becomes a permanent fixture. It just gets renewed and renewed and renewed and renewed. So let's say these contracts are already fulfilled and they're not doing them. Guess what? What are the chances of those contracts being renewed? And if you do not renew those contracts that the AP wants to highlight, 40% aren't saving us any money. If you don't renew those contracts in the future, would we save money for not renewing those contracts? See, the AP just wanted to put something negative about DOJ out there. And so I get it. President doesn't like him. because they always have a negative spin on what he does when they have a hagiography anytime a Democrat does something. Hagiography is when you make him look like an angel, you know. So, this article that they, where they highlight this, nearly 40% of contracts canceled by DOJ are not expected to produce savings. When they don't renew the contract, it will produce savings. So I don't care. I don't care. As if a lot of government contracts are ever not renewed. Exactly. They always renew. Good morning, Jabberjaw. Nice to have you here. Welcome back to the show. So the AP is just an anti-Trump. It's just as anti-Trump as NBC News these days, with very little balance. Now they do. Obviously, the AP does a lot of good reporting for everything else in the world, right? It's one of the greatest news agencies. But they have taken an anti-Trump editorial stance, and so I have no tears of joy for them, or tears of excuse me. I was thinking of her. Just no tears to shed, no salt. Don't care. And look, they're still in the White House press corps. They're still in the White House. They're still, they're not being denied. They just lost their seat on Air Force One because they've kind of been doing a little round robin, allowing other news agencies to get into the deal. So, all right, moving on. Ethanol is trending now. This apparently there's a big conversation about ethanol on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. Because of something that Thomas Massey posted, and I've always wondered about this too. And boy, this is going to get farmers mad when you start messing with their ethanol subsidies. But Thomas Massey posted this, saying using corn to make fuel increases the price of food. This is not disputed. True. Yet some Republicans are insisting on keeping costly ethanol provisions of the Democrat Green New Deal in the Republican budget reconciliation plan. Now, he said, I asked Grok if ethanol subsidies and mandates increase food prices. Here's Grok's answer. Ethanol mandates and subsidies can indeed push up food prices, and here's how it plays out. In the U.S., the Renewable Fuel Standard requires blending ethanol, mostly made from corn, into gasoline. Subsidies like tax credit and direct payments to producers sweeten the deal for ethanol makers. This jacks up demand for corn, a staple crop for both fuel and food. When more corn gets diverted to ethanol refineries, less is left for livestock feed, processed foods, and other or export markets. Basic supply and demand kicks in. Reduced corn supply for food purposes means higher prices for corn-based products. Look at the numbers. In 2022, about 40% of U.S. corn production, roughly 5.3 billion bushels, went to ethanol, according to the USDA. That's a massive chunk of crop that also feeds cattle, pigs, and chickens. When corn prices rise, say from $3 a bushel to $7, like they did between 2020 and 2022, feed costs for livestock climbs too. And you can see that in beef prices especially. That ripples through the higher prices for beef, pork, eggs, dairy at the grocery store. A 2011 National Academy of Sciences study pegged the RFS as bumping corn prices by 20 to 40%. In tight supply years. More recent analysis, like from Iowa State's CARD in 2023, suggests ethanol policies still add about 10 to 15% to corn prices annually, depending on harvest yields and global demand. So anyway, and then they go into other things that are subsidized as far as grains and stuff. But so people on here, the irreverent cat turd says, not to mention ethanol is horrible for engines, especially small engines. Someone here says, I'm not understanding, how does using corn bring up the price of all other foods? I can see the price of corn going up, but how does that affect, for example, milk? Thus, statements make no sense whatsoever. Well, Grok explained that in Thomas Massey's answer there. So lots of people out here talking about ethanol. And here's the thing. Especially Iowa, Minnesota, somewhat Nebraska, Missouri, Illinois, a lot of the Midwest states, huge corn producing states, they love them some ethanol subsidies. And you mess with the ethanol subsidies, it might hurt farmers because a lot of the farmers rely so much on the federal government as far as on some of these ethanol. Some of these big corn growers make a shit ton of money from ethanol subsidies. So Massey's probably pissing them off, but in the long run, you're causing the price of all kinds of things to go up because of using ethanol as a terrible additive for fuel too. I have a flex fuel vehicle, and I tried using that, what is it called, E85 or whatever, the ethanol based thing. First of all, even though my engine can handle it, it's still bad for your engine. Two, you get lower gas mileage. You get way lower mileage using the ethanol based fuels than you do just plain old petroleum based gasoline. Even just 10%, which is the max on most vehicles can handle. And I just think it raises the prices of everything. And why the federal government's even subsidizing it, since that's all part of the they increased, I think, ethanol subsidies in the Inflation Reduction Act. So anyway, good question from Thomas Massey. I have always appreciated him. I think he's a pretty smart dude. Moving on, inseminated. Inseminated is trending, and I'm not talking about Nick Cannon or Elon Musk. This is related to something that's happening in the state of Wisconsin. Apparently, according to the state of Wisconsin 2025 to 2027 budget recommendations, they're changing language. I guess in the state of Wisconsin, word previously used, wife or husband, changed to spouse. Previous word, mother, changed to inseminated person. Previous word used for paternity, patronage. That's a fascinating way to put it. I got a chick pregnant. No, that was patronage. Word previously used, father, changed to natural parent. Previously used the word man or woman, changed to person. Apparently the virus has infiltrated the state of Wisconsin. So some people are very upset about this. Not all inseminations are equal pregnancy. Well, yeah, that too. That's a good point. You can do some inseminating all night long and you still might not get pregnant. Anyway, so some women are out here posting this, saying my name is, and several different women are cutting and pasting it. She says, my name is Meg, and I am a woman. Not a pregnant person, not a chest feeder, not a birthing person, not a person who bleeds, not an inseminated person. A woman, it's not that difficult. And lots of people posted. And another person, I am not an inseminated person. I am a mother. Governor Evers, as a pregnant mom and woman, I am flat out disgusted at how little you think of us. These people will stop at nothing to erase women entirely. Don't let them reduce you to, let's face it, a semen container. As opposed to a cum dumpster. Okay, good morning, Selected Boy.
Yeah, boy.
And Steph. What's up, Steph Colonel? How you doing, brother? She is not a cum dumpster. So she said a semen container. You know what I mean. And yes, and there's adopted mothers too. So, oh my gosh. Let's see.
Okay, but I actually think...
Who is this? I don't even know who this is. And that's a... Well, there's a freeze frame for you. Okay, let's see what she has to say.
Okay, but I actually think we're moving on from this far too quickly. The governor of Wisconsin is actually backing a bill that would legally change the term mother under state law to inseminated person. Inseminated person. The bill is specifically about IVF, trying to be more gender inclusive to the identity of whoever has been artificially inseminated, but is, in my opinion, the single most disgusting, misogynistic attempt by the so-called feminist left to erase womanhood entirely. What started culturally as calling women people who menstruate, and then turned into birthing people, then turned into chest feeders, and is now labeling women inseminated people to boil down your entire existence to the status of your insemination as, I don't know, a semen container, if we're putting it bluntly, is the natural progression of the so-called feminist attempt to accommodate for legitimate misogyny and erasure of women.
I wouldn't even say for misogyny. It's not for misogyny. It's for the purpose of trying to make everything for all people. And look, because we're changing language because some people have a psychological issue that makes them think that they are something that they're not. And look, it's not that you can't have compassion for people who have those issues and can't be kind and polite and whatever. But also you can't allow someone else's mental, psychological, whatever you want to call it, issues control what I say and think. I do not have to have the same, I don't have to enable your psychological issues. So it becomes more and more ridiculous every time I see something like this. Let me let her finish here. By the way, good morning, K-Shell. What's up?
Womanhood under this guise of inclusivity, when in reality, we are excluding women entirely from the conversation. The moment we started affirming, even among doctors in America, that men can get pregnant was the moment that feminism made it abundantly clear they are no longer interested in the empowerment of women. And frankly, as a currently pregnant mom, mother, woman, I am revoltingly disgusted at how far these people are willing to go to invert reality in order to affirm delusion to try to make women second-class citizens again. But yeah, it's the people telling you should want to get married and have children that are the problem. Governor Evers and anyone else who backs these types of policies and laws, you disgust me. And this is exactly the type of behavior we will never tolerate again in 2025 and beyond.
Oh, I can't believe she forgot the most important thing. She left out the most important part that I was like waiting for it at the end, and she didn't even say it. Governor Evers, go inseminate yourself. Anyway, so yeah, that's oh boy, it's got some people fired up about that nonsense on there. So there you go. Before I move on, thank you, Advocatus Diabli, dropping a small bullet in the tip jar, and you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day with the $2.23, a small bullet, as I call it, saying, I have to push back on this woman. This is not misogynistic terminology. I am a misogynist, and I still call them mothers. Yeah, there you go. Very well. Very good point there. So, all right, let's move on. What else have we got? Kathleen Kennedy, remember her? Any Star Wars fans or anything that things that guys like? Kathleen Kennedy has found ways to ruin. Kathleen Kennedy apparently is retiring from leading the Star Wars world. Oh my God, thank God. Everybody celebrate. Oh my gosh. She took over the Star Wars and decided that the Force is female and decided to, make all these weird changes, but then forgot that her purpose was to write good stories. Okay, so she was so busy making the Force female or whatever that she wrote shitty stories and people hated her. If she would have dealt great stories, nobody would care. But hello, Evan S., by the way. So for the 5th consecutive year, yes, this is the 5th time, Kathleen Kennedy is leaving Lucasfilm. It eventually has to be true. So Lucasfilm boss Kathleen Kennedy expects to retire. The prolific producer, she's a prolific producer of crap, has presided over the Star Wars and Indiana Jones franchises through ups and downs since 2012. Okay, anyone? All right. Here's a question for the chat. Let me read this one more time, and I want you to chime in. The prolific producer of crap has presided over the Star Wars and Indiana Jones franchises through ups and downs since 2012. Class, can any of you articulate any of the ups she has presided over? Tell me one good thing. Is there anything good that she's done? Is there anything good that she's done? I think it's been crap. And lots of people, oh man, everyone's going off on this. This person says, Star Wars printed money. That's why Disney bought it. The irreparable damage Kathleen Kennedy did to it with her "the Force is female" bullshit will be studied in business schools for years. Here's another one. Kathleen's tenure at Lucasfilm shows us what happens when you try to make art out of spite and hatred. Her work over the decade has been little more than a performative malice against the Western mythos and the men who built it. Just a miserable body of work. Hello, Darren Root, by the way. When did it go up? That's my question. I want to know. Anything? Oh, she retired. Yes, there's the up. Well, she's done it 5 times, though. So hopefully this time it'll stick. Let's see. This is Emily Larson. I hate to say it because I would love Star Wars to be a healthy brand, but at this point, it does not matter one bit where Kathleen Kennedy is. The company's been so thoroughly infested by modern creatives whose hatred of classic storytelling is only matched by their lack of skills. The brand has been so thoroughly divided by toxic ideologies trying to carve out cultural space for themselves. Star Wars started out as films created by a visionary and became a cultural phenomenon. Disney utterly and thoroughly destroyed the cultural phenomenon and has now turned back into a saga of 6 films created by a visionary. There is no way to turn that back. That is spot flipping on. So anyway, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, Kathleen. And there's multiple. Well, never mind. I should have thought of that one out first. Anyway, Epstein is trending. Jeffrey Epstein. I'm moving on. And mainly because a lot of people have a question for, I don't know, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Donald Trump, and our friend Undoomed puts it very succinctly. He says, I distinctly remember the promise that Epstein's list would have released within the first 20. Oh, I'm going to retry this. I'm trying to do Undoom's voice. I'm not very good at it. Welcome back. I distinctly remember a promise that the Epstein list would be released within the first 24 hours of Kash Patel being confirmed. What's the holdup? Is that a pretty good imitation? I'm trying my best. But anyway, someone says, why aren't they going to release the files now? Deadlines are passed. Why the need to review? So apparently they're reviewing the Epstein files before they release them. Remember, Kash Patel promised the Epstein matter and client list would be his priority on day 1. Where is it? Wow. In fact, let's see. Senator Marsha Blackburn asked Kash Patel to release the unredacted Epstein flight names and island footage after claiming Democrats have blocked her from doing so for years. She has been one who has been very adamant about this information being released, whatever hell may come from it. And, God forbid, it includes some people we like. So be it. All the motherfuckers need to be held accountable, and they're not being to right now. So, John Rich, tell us, the Epstein Diddy list, the real story of the Vegas shooting. Where are all the missing kids? Who arranged to have Donald Trump killed? Who's guilty of treason? Who's guilty of crimes against humanity? Did we forget anything? Anything else we need to know? Kennedy, King, and and the other Kennedy too. All those. So anyway, that's why Epstein's trending. People are like, get Nancy. Hey, knock knock pudding head. Time to start releasing some lists as opposed to lisps. Okay, is it time to get? Oh shoot, a couple other things. There's a few people in the news. Let's get through these real quick, and then we'll get to the main topic. Trump hair. Don Lemon's trending because he, oh my God, he told Megyn Kelly to F off. Should we watch Don Lemon? Don Lemon's upset about something. Don Lemon, former CNN host Don Lemon, tells Megyn Kelly to go F herself because she was mean to Joy Reid. Reminds his viewer that Reid is a woman. Well, not only a woman, she's a black woman. Come on, Don. So here is... Now remember, these people were not kind when Megyn Kelly got the boot, so why should Megyn Kelly be kind to them? But here's Don Lemon bitching about Megyn Kelly because he's a bigger bitch than she is.
So let me just say to Megyn Kelly, in my 30-some years as a journalist and my 50-some years as a person of color, go.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. Don Lemon was a journalist? Who knew? Who knew? In 50 years, he was going to say as a black man. Sort of. Let me get back here.
In my 30-some years as a journalist and my 50-some years as a person of color, go fuck
person of, wait, person of color? I didn't catch that the first time. I'm still on the whatever she said, fuck yourself, whatever. Person of color, Don. You're a black man. Maybe a person of color. Nobody, no. In fact, I think Don might even be ADOS, American Descent of Slaves. Why are you calling yourself a person of color? You little bitch.
Okay.
Here again.
Color. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, yeah,
okay?
that's pretty harsh. Okay, Don, don't take your time for coffee. Let's hear.
I usually don't like to talk about her because she's one of those people. She thrives on it. She has built
thrives on what?
The second part of whatever of her career on being a troll. So this is what Megyn
as being a troll or just being outspoken, like you, Don. What are you doing in your career now, Don? You're doing the exact same thing she does. You call out people. You have your, you make your point, whatever. What's the difference between what she does and what you do now? Although, I know the difference. Nobody sees what you do now unless you do something stupid like this. This gets you attention. Nobody watches you now, just like they did when you were on CNN. This is CNN. Anyway.
Kelly said about Joy Reid, right? And remember, Joy Reid is a woman. Megyn Kelly's a woman. She's supposed to be all about women. And
No. Who's supposed to be all about women? Oh, because she doesn't believe the trans stuff bothers her? Is that what you mean, Don? But look, I got a point to make. I'll wait till the end.
Okay, so this is what she said. Remember when Joy Reid laughingly mocked white women tears as pathetic and offensive to her?
Right, and now Joy Reid's crying black women tears. Is that the point she's making? Who's crying now, Joy? Okay, he's going to finish this.
Who's crying now, Joy? Good riddance to the absolute worst person on television, and shame on NBC for letting it go on this long. And
yes, exactly. Now, I know I'm going to get to this, but I'm going to preempt what I was going to do later. Okay? Because there's a lot of people out there saying that Joy Reid was canceled because she's a black woman, because racism, whatever. They try to make it a race thing about her being canceled. Let me clear something up for anyone who's saying that she's canceled because of some racist bullshit, okay? I would argue that if they didn't cancel her show, it would be racist. Let me explain. Joy Reid's show, one, was awful. one trick pony, always about race this and blah, 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 right? Calling Trump Hitler, whatever. But that's not even the problem. If Joy Reid's show, The Readout, were getting phenomenal ratings, they wouldn't be canceling her. But her show had dismal ratings. She's had shows that under 200,000 people were viewing. That is dismal. And to not cancel her show with the dismal ratings, it might be the lowest rated show on MSNBC, and it's in prime time, 6, 7 o'clock spot, depending on where you live. If they didn't cancel her, that would be racist. Why? Because you're not treating her like any other show host on TV. You're treating her differently because she's a black woman. So it would be racist not to cancel her show, not to remove her from MSNBC, because her ratings sucked. If her ratings were great doing the same shit that she's been doing for 8 years, she would not be fired right now. She'd be bringing in money for MSNBC. But the only reason they're afraid to fire her, they're afraid to cancel her show. And that's why they replaced her with Simone Sanders and Michael Steele, who's just become another unhinged anti-Trump freak. And not Alex Wade, whatever the other lady they're bringing on with them. It would have been racist not to fire Joy Reid.
She has she is an axe to grind when it comes to MSNBC, and also
why not? So does Joy Reid now. Joy Reid now has an axe to grind with MSNBC too. Oh well,
she's racist, right?
Oh whoa, Don. What? What? That's your throat. Your go-to. That's your go-to, Don.
It's just, I don't want to give you the evidence.
You don't want to give the evidence?
Supposedly learned from it and then spent every day after apologizing for it and being fired for it, then spent every day proving the point that she is a racist.
False. She didn't talk about race on her show.
And not very supportive of women. If you look, all you have to do, the evidence is in her Google search.
Why do you have to be supportive of every woman? Don, do you support Melania Trump? Don, do you support Nancy Mace? Don, do you support Kathleen Sebelius? Don, do you support the governor of Arkansas? Shut the fuck up. Pro-women only means the women you like or the women you agree. If she calls out bullshit, whether it's a man or woman or whatever, being pro-women. Oh, Don, are you supportive of pro-life women? Don, are you supportive of women who do not want male bodies in female sports? Oh, I thought you supported women. You don't support women. You support people who agree with your whatever philosophy and political stance. So shut the fuck up about that. Hello, pissed off Shih Tzu. Don, do you support good? Don, do you support Megyn Kelly? You're not pro-women, are you, Don? Shut your hole.
And what she says about women, how she calls them out all the time.
She calls out men too. If she didn't call out women, that would be sexist. That would be treating them differently. That would be treating them like little snowflakes. You can't say bad things about other women who do stupid shit. That would be anti-woman. You got it backwards, Don.
The worst person. No, Megyn Kelly. The worst person on television was fired from NBC in the Today Show a few years ago, and that's Megyn Kelly.
Oh,
that's the worst person who's not on television.
Is that how you do jujitsu, Don?
Is you.
Don. This motherfucker.
That's the worst person who's not on television. So who?
I know you are, but what am I? Is that Don's argument? I know you are, but what am I? Megyn Kelly has her good days and her bad days, just like everybody else. But she's getting a little bit of schadenfreude that Joy Reid is now on her little, podcast, whatever, crying about being kicked from MSNBC and all the people that assaulted MSNBC. That's an unfortunate screen grab.
Hurrah for that. NBC did something good with that.
Well, they did something good with Joy Reid because she has shitty ratings.
I like to give proof of things, evidence. Like when I said Donald Trump, the president.
Oh my God, he did this on he did this on YouTube. He's using StreamYard. No. Oh my God, how the mighty have fallen. Who is even watching? This is Don Lemon on YouTube. You know what? Here, I got to check something out. I need to watch the rest of this. Let's look up Don Lemon on YouTube. I want to see how many subscribers he's at. Now, you would think someone who was on TV for years and years and years would have millions of subscribers and probably get a lot of viewing. Now, I bet this episode got a lot of views or whatever he put on here. Let's see. Don Lemon. Let's look up Don Lemon. See if he... Oh, there it is. Don Lemon. The Don Lemon Show. 541,000 subscribers. That's pretty weak. I mean, I can't subscriber shame, but I'm just some dude in my basement with a little home-built studio. Don Lemon is a former CNN anchor. Primetime anchor. Or just before primetime anchor. He should have millions of subscribers. Let's see if this call out on Megyn Kelly is. Bless your heart, Megyn Kelly. 55,000 views. 55,000 views. For Don Lemon. That's probably better than his ratings were at CNN, though. I mean, his average. Look at these videos. Don Lemon, 500,000 subscribers. The rise of whatever, dark woke, 14,000 views. Lemon Drop, 31,000 views. Week with Monique, 14,000 views. 15,000, 12. This one's probably has more views because this video where he tells her to go fuck herself or whatever is probably. Is there an audience for this shit? What is... Oh, he's putting somebody else's audience up there. Here's one with 120,000 views. He's averaging about 20,000 views per video. For someone who is on CNN, almost a lead anchor on CNN, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. he does live streams. Holy shit. Yeah, here. 11,000. Oh, he has 11,000 watching right now. This one had 128,000. So his live streams get more views, but a lot of times the live stream view numbers are based on how many times people click out and click in or whatever. So it's hard to tell with the live stream views. But holy shit. I mean, he's got 11,000 watching, which is good for, I don't know. I mean, that's Nick Rekieta still gets 11,000 people viewing when his rare streams, and everyone knows Nick's having a tough time right now. This is amazing. Don Lemon. That's hilarious. Anyway, so there you go. That's why Don Lemon's trending. Moving on, I'll leave his YouTube channel up there in case you want to subscribe. It'll be in the links today. Moving on, Dan Crenshaw's also trending. And apparently it's because Dan Crenshaw apparently made a threat to Tucker Carlson. And this is, so apparently people are not letting him forget it. Here's the clip.
Thank you. Have you ever met Tucker?
We've talked a lot. If I ever meet him, I'll probably kill him.
Did you catch that? So that if you ever met Tucker Carlson, he said we've talked a lot back and forth on Twitter. He said if I ever meet him, I'll probably kill him. My My. So, yeah, breaking. The video of Dan Crenshaw threatening Tucker Carlson has been deleted by the original poster. They are trying to erase it. I'm sure Crenshaw would appreciate it if you didn't repost this. I don't know what that's about, but so anyway, let's see. Holy shit, the original account of this Dan Crenshaw video deleted. Wouldn't it be a shame if it went viral again? For millions to see Dan Crenshaw say he wants to kill Tucker Carlson. Do not retweet it. Dan Crenshaw does not want it to stay up. So apparently people are not obliging Dan Crenshaw by reposting it over and over again. It's just everywhere. So whatever. I mean, I'm sure that's, I don't know. All right. And then finally, before we get to Joy Reid, which we should have done about 10 minutes ago, Scott Jenkins trending. And, Scott Jenkins is he's just always one of my favorites. I mean, I think he's the reason people are watching CNN now. The more people are watching CNN from the conservative end of the line, at least on this show that they do. And someone was talking about Dan Bongino's law enforcement credentials. Okay. And because a lot of people are saying, oh, just Dan Bongino, a podcaster, is going to be the associate director of the FBI. He didn't have the credentials to be there. Well, here's the discussion that they had on CNN and how Scott Jennings handled it.
But if I may address one issue. You just denigrated Bongino's law enforcement credentials. He was a cop and a Secret Service agent. You denigrated his academic credentials. He has a master's degree.
Just because he was a police officer doesn't make him qualified to run a 38,000 person, $11 billion budget agency, just like Pete Hegseth.
But you know what does? Because he
National Guardsman or everyone doesn't either. Thank you for your service.
The confidence and the pleasure of the president.
Whose judgment is terrible.
And I'm sorry that you are not yet over the outcome of the election.
No, because look at what's happening to our country, and I'll never.
Great things are happening. Great things are happening. What are you talking about?
In front of our eyes, and you guys are okay with it.
Who had a city that was smaller than the amount of people that live on this block, and he was the Secretary of Transportation. You had the guy who was stealing luggage. I mean, I think anyone who's defending at any point defending the Biden administration.
But this is
the guy who was stealing luggage was in charge of nuclear shit. What? So, hey, you're worried about qualifications. Oh, my God. You have a mental health patient as the Assistant Secretary of Health for the United States of America. Man in a dress. So, you love some qualifications.
Yeah, and this is someone who has a career in law enforcement for many years.
Freedom is at stake. Does Dan Bongino have the qualifications to be the second person in charge of the FBI?
Yes. He has law enforcement. He has academic. And again, let me just stress this. I've mentioned this before.
So when you stack up his credentials
they serve at the pleasure of the president. That's the political appointment.
I know that is the
It's
answer
a political
to every
appointment.
question,
Exactly.
Is that Donald Trump wants it, so therefore it is good.
For political appointments,
yes. But when we look at, we're talking about people who are qualified and not, and you look at his resume and compare it to Republican and Democrat nominees for that same position, is he qualified?
I mean,
before he even answers that, could it be worse? Could it be worse? If they have a vision and direction that they want the deputy director. Okay, he wasn't in charge, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, if he has organizational skills, if they have a vision for what the FBI should be, which should be a law enforcement agency covering crime and not perceived crimes, thought crimes, then yes, that's what they can direct the people in the field to do. Okay. So there, whatever.
And first of all, I'm not sure all the people that have been appointed in the past have covered themselves in glory. And some of them have done a terrible job and gotten in lots of trouble.
Look,
yeah, that's exactly. So anyway, that's why Scott Jennings is trending. Oh, here he is talking with Ana Navarro. Oh, and he also apparently Ana Navarro had some shit to say. Let's see what he said to Ana Navarro here. Then we'll move on. I might never even get to Joy Reid.
Abusive of federal workers, and it is just plain wrong.
And it's random.
It's abusive.
It's random.
It's abusive.
Yes, I do. I do think that. I think the way that they are. Yeah, I think the way that they are treating them.
Why? How is this abusive?
Scott, have you ever gotten an email from someone that said you better do this or else you're going to resign?
Yeah, it's called having a boss in the private sector.
From someone who's not your boss.
The White House is every federal worker's boss. That's number one.
Elon Musk is not anybody.
It doesn't matter. Oh my God. I get it. Because people see this as Elon Musk doing it. What does he have to do with it? I know it sucks if you're a federal worker and you get this letter, but I think part of this whole the email thing, reply to this, just as let's see if you're paying attention, if you're there, if you're working. I mean, it's not like they're gonna. Oh my God, I just can't.
Scott, how is Elon going to evaluate? I mean, how is he going to evaluate the work of thousands of federal employees when he has no idea what
he's
they do?
not. The test was, are you even paying attention to your email? Are you even at your terminal?
Some federal workers, he sent it on a weekend. Some federal workers do not have access to their emails on the weekends. They just don't.
Did they go to work today? I mean, look, the amount of outrage, melting down, and sort of outpouring of emotion over this ought to tell you everything you need to know. We had a lady on CNN today, a supposed federal worker, who said she was infuriated by getting this email. She had time to go on CNN, but she didn't have time to send a 30-second email saying, well, here's what I was working on last week. This is what people in the private sector have come to hate about how they view the public sector. And I think there's a great many very dedicated public servants. But you said, it's about control. Yes, it's about control, and it's about finding out who is actually at their job working and who isn't, and do we need all these people?
How does sending the email do that? Well, if they reply, they're at work. If they know it's coming because they hear about it on CNN and they go check their email, they know it worked. So anyway, Scott Jennings trends just about every day. So let's get into MSNBC and the shakeup at MSNBC. As you well know, Joy Reid's departure from MSNBC, also known as MSDNC or The Mess, has sparked widespread discussion on social media in the media landscape. Reid, known for her show The Readout, well, I guess some people knew what the show was called, was let go from the network amid major changes to the programming lineup, as reported by various news outlets. Now, while some post articles imply racial undertones, in the decision, others focus on the network's strategy shift or critiques of Reid's show's content. So, we got some examples of the meltdown. We'll watch a few. I think this was from her final show. She brought on some of her favorite people. These are a few of my favorite things. Here's Joy and Friends, I believe on her last show.
History, your ability, your political acumen. Nicole Wallace, my good sister, tell me what you...
Nicole Wallace? You were talking about Nicole Wallace when you said that? I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
Your brilliant self, believe people can do.
Well, I'm going to break the rules the way Rachel broke the rules and tell you that I love you. That's the happiest times I've had, not just at MSNBC, but ever being on television. Have been sitting next to the two of you. No offense, Lawrence. We love having you there too.
We love Lawrence.
And that I think that I thought that things like that on TV couldn't be real, but that the friendships that have sustained me have been with both of you. And I am, it's like losing a limb, the thought of doing those nights.
No, it's not like losing a limb. That would be a lot more concerning.
Your strength and your fearlessness is the answer to the question I think you're getting at with both of us. And I think that my reaction to the end of the readout and your departure is despair. And the only thing that chips away at that for me is that despair is the autocrat's tool. It's their most effective weapon. It costs nothing. It's easy to deploy. It's contagious. And then it puts in motion all the actions they want: helplessness, isolation, exasperation, giving up. Yeah. And so the only reason I will not wallow in what I feel about you leaving is because I think that's what they want. And so I don't think.
I'm not going to say bitch. Woman. She got canceled by the company you work for, which is decidedly in agreement with all of the bullshit that Joy Reid says. The reason she is being let go is because she's probably losing money for MSNBC. It is a business decision. Has nothing to do with what outsiders might say about how badly Joy Reid's show sucks and how she's a terrible host. It has nothing to do with it because, again, if her ratings were better than Maddow's, or if her ratings were even close to Maddow's or other networks during the time slot, which she was consistently last, and in fact, usually, probably lower ratings than SpongeBob reruns on Nickelodeon, she would not be being let go. If she had Oprah ratings, she could write her own check. It's not about anything other than her ratings sucked. I'm not going to listen to her anymore. Maddow did a whole segment on it too. Here's Maddow talking about on her show, and she's going to imply too that this has something to do with racism, which I disagree vehemently. Real quick before I play that though, thank you, Tyre Alexander. Drop a $2.30 in the tip jar. Now you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day, who says it is proof of life. Oh, for the Elon sending out emails, it's proof of life. He wanted to know how many people are collecting paychecks but not at work. I was worried. I gave 5 things I did. Hell, I could give 100 things if he asked. The purge is here. Trump unleashed Elon to find the corrupt, happy hunting Elon. Hell yeah. Thank you, Tyre. Appreciate that thought. All right, here's Rachel Maddow about to be in tears about Joy leaving and implying some things that probably don't make sense to some of us who think this out a little more thoroughly.
An even bigger programming change is at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern, where Joy Reid's show, The Readout.
By the way, this is appropriate. Holding back the tears. Nothing else is wrong. Oh.
Ended tonight. And Joy is not taking a different job in the network. She is leaving the network altogether. No, and that is very, very...
Leaving the network. I wonder if she left, like if they would offer a different time or whatever, if she would stay. I'm just curious. Maybe she just says, no, I'm fired, I'm leaving.
Very hard to take. I am 51 years old. I have been gainfully employed since I was 12.
Okay.
And I have had so many different kinds of jobs, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. But
no, we've
all
seen
of the jobs
some
I
of
have
them.
had in all of the years I have been.
I remember when she was like an intern for Tucker Carlson or some shit. That was
been alive. There is no colleague for whom I have had more affection and more respect than Joy Reid.
Really? When you say affection, what do you mean? Oh, wait. No, I can't do that. Joy Reid hates gay people. I forgot.
I love everything about her. I have learned so much from her. I have so much more to learn from her. I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC. And personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door. It is not my call, and I understand that, but that's what I think. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse than bad, no matter who replaces them. That feels indefensible.
Wait a minute. But they're being replaced. She's being replaced by 2 black people. Double your pleasure, double your fun. What the fuck are you talking about, Rachel? You're being replaced by 2 black people and a Hispanic woman. So the 2 people are being people of color being replaced by 3 people of color. As some of you motherfuckers like to say. God damn. So anyway, it's racist.
And
oops, sorry about that. Thank you, Reaction Puerto Rico, dropping a deuce on YouTube Super Chat saying, secretly, they're all happy she's leaving. Oh, that's probably true. Probably true. Ugh, damn. So, and I want to find Keith Olbermann chimed in. Keith Olbermann. Where is it? They didn't even. Oh my God. Keith Olbermann has chimed in. Breaking. MSNBC purge escalates. Eamon Mayilden, Katie Fang, Jonathan Capehart ousted along with Joy Reid and Alex Wagner. They didn't even try to hide their racism by firing an unnecessary white anchor like Tur or Rule as cover. Well, they're on during the day doing straight news, dumbass. I discussed what this is in today's podcast for a half hour at about the 2,700 mark. Okay. Oh, what is this? He's on he's not even on YouTube. What is this shit? Hang on a second. What did he say? 27 minute mark. Let's just listen to Olbermann for a short period of time. About the 2,700 mark. Okay, 27. There we go. All right. Let's see what Keith says.
GOTE, greatest of their era, on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, some podcast.
No matter who you are or what you do. Weekends on MSNBC, and
now, that's funny. He put the 27-minute mark so that you would hear the ads. Wow, way to go, Keith. That's pretty smart of you to get your ads in there. Let's go to 20. Let's try 28.
At MSNBC, and turned out to be much bigger than that. Joy Reid, per the New York Times, to be replaced from her 7 p.m. show by moving a weekend show on MSNBC featuring Michael Steele,
black people,
who is a politician and brand salesman, although he has not been active recently in the Republican Party. He's a salesman.
Bitch, he is as anti-Trump as you are. So maybe you just don't pay attention. Yes, he used to be the chairman of the GOP, but he is never Trump, Lincoln Project, whatever, name it, he's it, okay? And then you got Simone Sanders, who is also part of the DNC, another black woman, and then some Hispanic woman. I can't remember the woman's name. So one woman of color is being replaced by 3 people of color. Keith.
Simone Sanders, a politician and brand saleswoman from the Democratic Party. She's a saleswoman. Alicia Menendez, who is the daughter of the senator from New Jersey. You may have heard about him, who's a different kind of salesman. And
Nepotism.
She has largely been a party salesperson. Nothing wrong
Everyone
with that.
on MSNBC are party salesmen. They're either pro-Democrat or anti-Trump. Not mutually exclusive. What are you talking about, Keith?
Oh, it's been on for several years on the weekends on MSNBC, and it's kind of interesting, I suppose. There's nothing wrong with it unless you want insight or commentary or new people you have not heard from before. It is textbook MSNBC. They lost the idea I gave them and thought this is what it was.
They lost the idea that I gave them, and this is what was your idea, Keith? What was your idea? All anti-Trump all the time? We're not listening to this. It's here. It's in the links. Fuck it. I ain't doing it. Thank you, Avocados Diablo. Another small bullet in the tip jar. You again are the new Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day. Who says primetime is what? All 4 hours? If 2 hosts during that time are black, how are you complaining? Right? No one was watching Jonathan Capehart either. Holy shit, his show was shit. It was terrible. So anyway, lots of people upset about Joy Reid. Now I also, by the way, so Reid is also trending because of this. Now that Joy Reid is looking for a new job, I should hire her to follow me around every moment, night and day, react with open mouth, saucer-eyed astonishment at every prediction I make, which of course will come true. Oh yeah, this was great. This was back in 2016 when Ann Coulter was on Bill Maher. I think it was Bill Maher. Yeah, Real Time with Bill Maher and Joy Reid, and I can't remember who the other two people are. This was one of the greatest reactions ever, though. Here's Ann Coulter on Bill Maher.
And which Republican candidate has the best chance of winning the general election?
Of the declared ones right now, Donald Trump.
Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? And that motherfucker's back, bitches. Anyway, Greta Van Susteren too post on this. I don't enjoy someone losing a job, but when I got fired from MSNBC, Joy Reid liked the tweet of my firing announcement. I hope the experience of being fired humbles her and she learns from it. I learned from my firing. Jason Whitlock, Joy's demise is being celebrated. People are calling her the most racist person that's been on national TV. Think that through. How did a black woman have the most racist show on TV? All of America caters to black women. Only someone like Joy Reid is even allowed the platform to be blatantly racist. Well, yeah, and I'm saying, again, the idea that firing her is racist, no, not firing her would have been racist because you'd be treating her differently because she's a black woman and not because her show sucked and she had terrible ratings. So anyway, now just for shits and grins, of course, I had this Photoshop version of Joy Reid with Trump hair, but it doesn't mean that Joy Reid didn't often. Oh, Maddow's trending too because of her little diatribe about Joy Reid. But I thought I went Joy Reid Trump hair, and I thought I'd pull this up because this was a funny thing from a while back. Here is someone talking to Joy Reid about her hair. And I think this may be in the last time she ever wore the Trump hair. I call it the Trump hair because she used to wear that. She had like 3 or 4 different blonde wigs that she would wear, and I'm like. One time she's on there and I'm like, damn, that wig looks like Donald Trump hairs. Or either Donald Trump or Boris Johnson. She had a Donald Trump and a Boris Johnson wig. Anyway, here's someone asking her about that out in the real world.
Do you think people with Trump derangement syndrome know they have it?
You're an idiot.
And second question, did you steal Trump's haircut or did he steal yours?
Oh.
Cultural appropriation haircut right there.
So I thought that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Anyway, lots of examples of Joy Reid trying to impersonate Trump. We don't have to see that. Like, what was that? I remember seeing this one. I mean, this wig don't even look like it fits her head. It just looked like she threw it up there on top there. And because she got all the, out here on the sides hanging out and shit. I'm like, what is with Joy Reid and the Trump hair? Here's another one. What is this?
By white Christians that are going to participate.
Okay, I don't need the music on there. Let's mute the music. But here it is. She's up here got the Donald Trump wig on. Like, what is she doing? That's some cultural appropriation. Hello, Select Boy. That is some cultural appropriation. I mean, she's up here wearing these blonde wigs. Now, this time she didn't. She has, that looks like her natural hair. That's a wig, too. And here it is. Like, what? Why? Why is she coming out here looking like Donald Trump? Why? Lord, why? Ill-fitting wigs. It's just, and then that's the fake one. Of course, Ely Mistel has the giant Q-tip thing, which I shouldn't say that because I used to get mad when I had an afro and people called me Q-tip. I'd like, you motherfucker, don't call me Q-tip. But anyway, you get the point. All right. The only other thing I have on here since I got to go, there's a New York Post article about Rachel Maddow ripping her own network for axing Joy Reid's show and other non-white hosts. They've replaced her with non-white hosts. If your show doesn't get ratings, you get it canned. Sorry. Yahoo also talking about Olbermann accusing the network of racism for dropping Joy Reid because, you can't fire any black people without it being racism. No, low ratings don't matter. Other articles I have opened in the links also Lester Holt is leaving as anchor of NBC Nightly News. Now, should not be a surprise. He's basically retiring, so that's not a big deal. So, but again, another black person leaving an NBC product, so it's got to be. Other things on X. Oh! Speaking of racist, thank you, Reaction Puerto Rico, who says USAID is gone. Is that why people are being fired? I don't know. Oh, god damn! I didn't think of that, because a lot of these networks and news places are being propped up by subscriptions bought through USAID. But here's something that was wild too. Speaking of USAID and the government, now there's some people talking about Elon Musk. And well, just listen carefully, because there's some irony in this, what these people are saying. Listen to the irony of what these people are saying.
Elon Musk were here right now, what would you tell him?
Go back where you come from.
America or?
Where he came from.
South Africa?
South Africa?
South Africa, right?
He's from Africa.
Oh.
Go take your white ass back to Africa.
Go back to South Africa where he belongs.
Go back to South Africa.
Go back to South Africa. He's not a citizen. He came here illegally and
false. He's an American citizen. You can't get your citizenship coming here legally.
Stayed, then got citizenship, I believe.
So go back to Africa.
Go back to Africa.
Don't you tell?
What would you tell him?
He's an unelected, greedy, selfish bastard, and please go away. Nobody elected him. Nobody voted for him.
Nobody voted for anybody in the president's cabinet or any of the government agencies. If that's your standard, that he wasn't elected, nobody in any of these government agencies were elected either. None of them. Not one. No one elected anyone in any of the 459 government agencies. So if that's your issue, well, maybe they all should just stop. Just stop where you are.
We don't want him. He's a racist and he's a Nazi. This is not what America is about.
You said to go away. Yeah. Where would you like him to go?
Go back to South Africa. His grandfather left Canada to specifically go to South Africa because he loved the racist policies of South Africa. Go back to South Africa.
Go back to
as an immigrant, telling another immigrant, go back to where he came from, because I am not trying to change America for the worse. I'm not a greedy, selfish person who wanted to take everything for myself. Somebody who has $404 billion is going to go into Social Security and tell my grandfather or my disabled cousin that $800 a month is too much, and you have $404 billion.
Where did he do that? I have no idea. Anyway, so go back to Africa, Elon. That's wild. All right, I'm gonna skip this one. Skip that. I'll do those later. All right, that's it for today, guys, because I gotta go. So, here, let me set the aggregator up here so it'll be in the links. There we go. All right. Thank you for joining me the other Morning Night Live. We'll come back and I have a couple more things tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope you have a good day for the rest of the day. I am so glad that you all joined me today. I'm going to put the links in the chat and get the hell out of Dodge. If, by the way, I'm meaning to, if perchance any of you pay attention to the show and you see something that you think would make a great standalone video or just a clip from this show, can you let me know? I'm trying to put clips together, and I'm dumping Opus clips, even though it does make short clips. It would be great if you have any specific things. Every once in a while, someone pulls a clip out of the show and says, hey, this would make a good standalone. I would love to have you let me know. But here you go. Here are the links for today, everything we did so in the show, plus a lot more. Today's links are here. There we go. That's it. I got to go. My name is P-Dog Knight. And I'm out of here. You have a fantastic freaking day. Bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.